Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 255, recording on Sunday, December 7th, 2025. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name's Andrew.
And on this week's show, we will be discussing Metroid Prime 4 Echoes. We've all played it.
No, that's not the name of the game.
What did I say?
You said Echoes?
I've called it Echoes in my head forever, even when I play it. And then I realize, it's Beyond. It's not Echoes, it's Beyond.
Yeah,
Sorry.
It's funny because
it's a weird title.
And whenever I load it up, I'm like, didn't they call Metroid Prime 3 Beyond? But so I have a similar
Wasn't that Echoes?
No, that was Corruption.
Yeah, Echoes is 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was Dark something.
No, I mean, it has Dark Samus in it, but...
Oh, it is called Echoes. Wow, that's crazy. I'm an idiot. I'm a loser. I'm the worst. I suck.
That's not true, Frank, for the record. That's not true.
Well, I'm pretty big on getting titles right, and this was a major
true, you are.
flub. But either way, we're wearing Metroid hoodies, except for Huck. I assume that actually, maybe it is it's a True North hockey. I don't know. Sean and I have Metroid hoodies on. Huck didn't get the memo.
No, I didn't.
We didn't really coordinate. I saw Sean wearing his, and I got changed after the fact. I forgot I had it. I'm glad he reminded me. Time to bust this thing out again. And we will also get a little bit into Game Awards predictions, which are happening this week on Thursday, or just thoughts leading into the Game Awards. And we'll get into some other stuff we played too. Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting right into the holiday season. Before we get into Game Awards discussion, Huck, I think you have something you'd like to discuss or announce.
Little exciting announcement, kind of last minute, but my company there, Equilibrium, has done one more port. This time it's Frank's favorite genre, cozy simulator. The game is called Cinnabunny, and you play as a bunny who runs a bakery, and you bake bread and other baked goods, and you sell them to get the currency, which is carrots. And you use your carrots to buy ingredients and other assorted things, and there's quests, and it's a fun little, I wouldn't call it open world, but it's like a small world exploration game with a few different areas to explore and a bunch of little mechanics to do. And it's a pretty fun game. Perfect for the kids or wives, I believe is the proper word. If your wives are gamers, and people who like a little snuggly game for the winter season. Check
really,
it
it's
out.
the best Christmas present you could give anyone.
100%. Cinnabunny, Cinnabunny. Just probably how it's pronounced.
What consoles did you port this to?
I just ported it to the Nintendo Switch, but apparently it's kind of like automatically going to work for Switch 2, which is excellent. So I still don't have a Switch 2 dev kit. But we did a lot of work to get it to run on the Switch versus Steam. I think the only other platform it's on right now is Steam. And so Switch on December 11th, which is, I believe, this coming Thursday. And so if you go to look for it in the Nintendo store, it will not appear until the 11th. There was a little snafu with the store page not being able to launch early. So rest assured, when you check back on the 11th, it will be there. If you check right now when you listen to the show as soon as it drops, which I know all you do, it won't be there, but don't panic. The 11th is the day.
Oh, this was beautiful. This game started on Kickstarter.
It did indeed, yeah.
I wonder when back in 2024, and it looks like it was a follow-up to a previous game that was also a bunny cozy sim.
Exactly, yeah. So it's like kind of part 2.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I look forward to checking it out. You kind of mentioned something before we recorded.
Oh, that was just for you guys.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I thought maybe you might be doing a promotion or something like that.
No, I'm not at this time. Maybe. I could ask. Little Game Junk code giveaway.
Possibly.
Leave a comment in the YouTube channel if you would like a Cinnabunny code giveaway. And I'll talk to Patrick about it. He's the guy who made the game. So
Beautiful.
Let me know. You let us know in the comments.
YouTube.com/GameJunk
There we
to
go.
watch and leave comments and find Discord links and like and subscribe. Okay, Game Awards this Thursday. I'm getting very excited for the Game Awards. They're rapidly becoming my favorite award show. I actually think they're relevant and very good, have great reveals. I like seeing the speeches. I like it all. So there's a pre-show at 8:00. I think the awards start at 9. Are there any games, well, before we say things we want to see, the biggest news heading into the Game Awards, because I almost forgot that they show new games there. It literally has become an award show to me, not a marketing thing.
Which not most people do not think of it.
Right. And I actually like it as the award show. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a bunch of new game announcements this Thursday. It's going to be a big deal. But they're teasing something, or Keeley and the Game Awards were teasing. They put out coordinates, and it led to a physical giant statue. Some might say demonic. I wouldn't say that. I would just say it's a little scary, a scary statue in the desert. I think by the Joshua Tree, people looked up these coordinates and they found that someone had placed a giant statue there, and it is promoting some game. We don't know what game. Although I think an article I saw confirmed it is not Elder Scrolls 6. Or would it be 5?
Yeah. There was a couple others. Some people thought God of War. That apparently is not the case. Diablo 4 DLC. That is not the case. And Lords of the Fallen. All of those have been disproven.
Whoa. Who disproved God of War?
Cory Balrog, I believe.
What was his exact quote?
I don't know, but
Says not us.
Because I think it's God of War.
yeah,
Yeah.
could be. I mean, it's like, all these people saying it's not this, obviously they want to protect their reveal. So it's possible. But I mean, I had a few other thoughts. Well, you guys mentioned Saros, right? The Sony game. Now, that is interesting just because I don't know if you guys have seen the picture of what this thing looks like at night, but there's like kind of these glowing lights that look like little tentacles that come out. And if you look at that compared to the Saros box art, there's like that boss that kind of looks like that. Could be, but I really think it's not going to be something that's announced yet. I mean, it's a pretty big tease for, would you really do that for something that's already kind of out there?
Yeah, my gut reaction was Saros, the Housemarque game that I'm very excited for, based on color palette and style. And then Huck pointed out some steps leading up to it, which I assume are human-sized steps, which would make this very big, which is when I started thinking, scale-wise, I'm getting God of War vibes. And
Well, I don't know if that's actually like the real size in life, but in terms of like the scale of the door or whatever this thing is,
yeah, I don't know
it
either.
does look like it would be a gigantic door in like a video game space. I'm not saying it's that big in real life.
No, I assume those are like human scale steps, but I could be wrong. And then I see like a reptilian creature and some other stuff. I'm like, yeah, this could be veering into an Egyptian god version of God of War potentially. I still think that could be possible. Or I found the Cory Balrog refuted it via a Discord chat and said it's not GOW, Gears of War, now or God of War. Maybe he.
Whoa, or maybe it was Gears of War. Maybe it was Gears of War.
GOW could be anything.
It could be anything.
And it's not GOW. It's not Gears of War. Maybe that's what he was thinking. It could be a God of War offshoot that's titled something different and related to the world. Or it could just be a totally new game, and that would be based on this new info from Cory Balrog. I would say I think it's a new FromSoft game.
That's definitely another thing people are speculating about, either Elden Ring 2 or Bloodborne 2. Is Bloodborne kind of like a Cthulhu type thing? Is that
It's gothic. I don't know if it's all that Cthulhu-y, but I'm certainly no Cthulhu head. I'm not
Okay.
even close. So
I mean, that's yeah. I kind of thought it might be something like you know what it reminds me of? Hellraiser, the pillar thing in the one movie, the,
Yeah.
like pillar of bodies. Now there is a Hellraiser game coming out, but it's already been announced. So also seems unlikely to be that.
it'll be curious to see if, like, at the Game Awards, the statue opens and someone walks out of it, like they do the announcement in the desert. They cut to the desert. Could be huge. I can't wait to see who walks out of this thing. It's going to be Buddy with the 20-minute speech who plays Kratos. You know it's going to. You know what it's going to be.
I found one article that is speculating that it is potentially a Diablo 4 expansion.
Sean,
Yeah,
I
see,
think,
that's-
refuted that.
That supposedly they said it's not, but like could be. Could be. It could be Doom as well. Like anything kind of demonic, you go.
Doom just came out,
think of
though.
Doom.
They wouldn't announce
That's
another
true.
title.
They're not going to confirm it either way. Like, no one's going to say, "Oh, you know what? It actually is our game." You guessed right.
Exactly. Yeah. No one wants their big thing spoiled
You
before
got
the
us.
Game Awards.
You
so.
got us.
Yeah.
Now, the one other thing, there was some text that was part of the post. Jeff Keighley said, "Regal, inspiring thickness."
Whoa.
What
Phallic.
the hell does that mean?
Don't know.
And then there was another thing. There was another thing that's like partially black, like the words are blanked out. It's like the something are silent, something bleeds, new something stir.
So
Okay.
so I think it does kind of look like that Scorn game. I think it was Scorn. Now, I don't think Scorn sold enough to really like warrant a sequel, and definitely not this sort of marketing push.
No.
But you know what I bet it is? I bet this is going way out there. I bet it's Kojima and G Del T, their next collaboration to launch, which is probably another super short game, but has like craziness in it. This looks like something out there like that.
Well, what was the tech demo trailer? Was that the Jordan Peele game that had the candles and all that stuff?
Well, there's OD and there's Fizz Int or something. I think those
Yeah,
are the
OD
two
I think
Kojima
had
games.
the one I'm thinking. So I don't think it's OD, but I could see the GDLT thing happening. What was the game? He was working on a game with THQ that was very similar to the game we were working on at Silicon Knights, and it got canceled as well.
Well, hey, we're talking about Cthulhu, stuff like that. Let's just throw it out there. Shadow of the Eternals. Is it
Ooh.
back?
Ooh.
That
Big
could-
splash.
They have the budget
The color
for this
palette-
statue, but
The color palette's actually pretty similar to that as well. It had that same.
For those of us who haven't been watching for 10 years, what is Shadows of the Eternals? Or whatever it was called.
well, I think that was the spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that a bunch of people, our friends from Silicon Knights, a bunch of them started it after they left SK, or SK kind of
Yeah, it was a
finished.
studio called Precursor.
Yeah, Precursor. And then, yeah, it's very similar. Well, the plan was to be very similar to Eternal Darkness, but yeah, it could be that. I get those vibes too. Interesting. We'll see. We'll see. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Who fucking cares? We'll find out on Thursday. It was just something to start with. Anything you guys want to see? Is there a game announcement you either think is going to happen or you want to happen?
Well, so
Yes.
I have a few that I think are going to happen. I'll give you the one that I really want to happen. Probably not going to happen. I think I've mentioned this at some point recently, but a new Castlevania has got to happen. Like they've been doing all these little DLC tie-ins for smaller indie games. Like they're building up to something, right?
You know what? That statue kind of gives me Lords
be.
of was it Lords of Shadow? Was that the 3D version?
I think so, yeah.
Kojima was partially involved with that as well. So I could see that. I could see it being a new Castlevania game with the statue.
The game I would love to see is Final Fantasy VII Part 3, Remake Part 3, whatever that's going to be called. Reunion
Afterbirth?
or R something. What's that?
I mean, probably,
Afterbirth?
Afterbirth. No, it's got to start with an R.
I
Rebirth.
know, I'm kidding.
Rebirth.
I thought they said what it is already.
Is it Reunion?
Yeah, I thought there was a title, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be. There's got to be like a tease at least for it at this show.
No, it has not been officially announced yet. So, yeah, I mean that's a good one. I hadn't thought about that. I really struggle to think of stuff that I'm excited for or want an announcement of. I tend to like new stuff. My one pick's pretty chalk. I really think we're due, and we will see a new God of War game for sure. I think that will end the show.
Out of the major Sony franchises, it feels like that's the next one in line. Now, I know Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet, I feel like there was a news story like a week or two ago where they said, we're not going to be at the Game Awards. We're not coming out in 2026. I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, probably
hard
not.
sell. They're trying to throw them off.
Maybe. I feel like there would at least be a trailer or something.
So you were the person who brought up all the sources that refuted all these games for the statue, and you believe it. But this one, you don't.
I don't totally. I agree with you that any of those could end up being true. So
fair enough. Okay. And well, let me get my backlight on. I just don't...
Okay,
there we go.
The last one. So if they don't, there's been like a rumor around like Square Enix or whatever they're called now that they're doing like a Final Fantasy IX remake. And I bet if they don't show anything for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, they would show possibly something for that, which I think what people would lose their minds over. People love Final Fantasy IX, and I think if they did a remake of that, I think people would be pretty jacked as well. So if they're not ready to go with the Part 7 Part 3, I think they would show that.
I'm surprised they haven't announced any like the Dragon Quest HD and like remaking old Final Fantasy games in that style as well, like the SNES games, and those would sell a ton.
Well, I mean, they just did the pixel remasters of all of them, so they probably made a ton of money off those. They maybe got to let it settle for a bit.
Do it again. Run it up.
Do it again. I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying
You're
they won't
buy them. But those would just be one at a time. It would be like focusing on making Final Fantasy 3 and making it amazing and making $1 bajillion. So I don't know why they wouldn't.
I don't think it could capture that. That game is special in the current form. So it's not like Final Fantasy 7 where
capture, dude. They'd capture.
Nope. Hard no.
So I mean, while you're speaking of remakes, I had thoughts on a couple remakes that might show up. Resident Evil 5, possibly. I don't know. They might wait till after Requiem. Is that even in the works?
I'd say if there's another Resident Evil remake, it will be Resident Evil 1 or 0.
What about Code Veronica?
That as well. Those are way more likely to get remakes.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Or even Dino Crisis.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Exo Primal was just like a thing to get dinosaur tech up and running for Dino Crisis.
Maybe. Now, what about Splinter Cell or Prince of Persia: Sands of Time? Are either of these ready to announce again?
Probably. I would hope so by now, but definitely likely not moving my needle per se. The one remake out of any remake in the world other than Jack and Daxter and Resistance, which I've said many times that I would love to see, is Metal Gear Solid 1. I feel like that is the best Metal Gear game, by far the best Metal Gear game, and should be remade, remastered. I know it's been done once. Sean worked on it, but I want an even better one, newer one.
Yep. Do it again.
Well, if we're going out into the total land of wants and desires,
baby.
How about a new Diddy Kong racing entry? That's what I want to see. Maybe even let's really go back. Beetle Adventure Racing. Just dust off that gem. and just go deep into the well of games that will never come out. I mean, you're right though. Metal Gear Solid will come out again. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, they got to. And then the other two things I was kind of thinking about, one would be Gears of War E-Day. And
Yeah.
do we know when, like in Gears War, E-Day actually is?
Like in the timeline of the game, like how long
Yeah,
before the first game?
Yeah, it doesn't have an official day for like, it just says 2592. So I thought, maybe it's the 25th
2026?
Xbox anniversary. Maybe on the Xbox anniversary it ships, or some game should ship on New Year's Day. Something should announce we are out first day of 2026. There's nothing to play in January. You would be starting the 2026 calendar. People have new systems or new PCs that they've gotten for Christmas. You drop a game Jan 1, forget it. It's over. That's all people are playing that day. It is the deadest time ever for games.
Yeah.
People are waking up after New Year's, or they're staying up till midnight, like I do, waiting for a new game to release. And instead of a New Year's ball dropping, it's Gears of War E-Day.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I feel like you got to give like a little bit of a buffer from Christmas because
you'd be counting down to the release of the day. You could turn your whole marketing campaign into like midnight on the 31st. This game comes out. Who cares about New Year's? It's about this game. Anyway, someone needs to do it.
I was just thinking, what are some like indie developers that haven't put out a game in a while that have made like a ton of money, whose next game would make a big splash? What about the Cuphead devs? Studio MDHR.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say their name. Mm-hmm. What if they were just to drop like the next super stylized action game? That would be pretty cool.
I love where your head's at. That is possibly definitely one of the greatest predictions on this show ever. And you're right. That is coming, and it'll be a tease. I don't think it'll be a Cuphead sequel. I think it will be.
I think it'll be something new.
A like totally new approach to artistic style and emulating something else that hasn't been done before. And I think you're right on the money, bud. I think it's happening. That's a good one.
I don't know if there's any other like big indie studios I could think of, or that even just by quick Googling indie studios that haven't released a game in a while that would make a bigger splash than them. I think all the other ones I would consider big have announced already. Like Hollow Knight just came out. The guy who did Stardew Valley, he's announced his next game. I think Yacht Club, like the Shovel Knight guys, I think they've got a game in the pipe.
Yeah, Mina
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so they're like the big.
Obviously, he's got their new thing.
Yeah, so they're like the big, outstanding studio that made a lot of money on a big game that hasn't really shown their next thing.
Mina the Hollower dropping at midnight, January 1st. Get ready. The only way I'll buy that game. Day one. If you make that happen, you've got my support. I will pre-order immediately. Okay. Any other games or thoughts?
I'll throw out another like AAA game that just kind of feels like maybe it's time for it to resurface. Mass Effect 5. I don't remember when they last talked about it or where it's at, but I don't know.
Did that Knights of the Old Republic remake get canceled? Are we due for an update on that?
Oh, it could be.
I don't know if it's been canceled. It did get canceled, but I mean,
there's so many Star Wars games that have come and gone and gotten canceled. I thought the one by Quantic Dreams or whatever, that one got canceled. Is that the same one? There's another one like Quantic, wasn't there?
Is that still in the works? They did have a Star Wars game. I don't remember what happened with that. I don't know. I just apparently there is some kind of rumor about something to do with the Old Republic in a Star Wars game. So Yeah, that could be there.
All right. And I'd be fine with anything Uncharted related, including remasters and remakes of the first game would be.
I just thought of another one. Play Dead. The
Hmm.
next Limbo / Inside game. I think Limbo came out
Yeah.
or I think Inside came out a long time ago. Yeah, 2016. Is this developer even still
But,
open?
well, see, I was going to ask because like I think some of the people went to other studios. Like there's been a bunch of like ex Limbo devs making
True.
new games, but like yeah, I don't know what's going on with Playdead. Like it's been a little while. 2016, yeah.
I think now that it's related to this, it might be at the Game Awards, but you saw Replaced got a release date trailer.
Oh yeah?
Yep. Saw
Interesting.
that.
March, I think.
Well, that's
Mhm.
pretty soon for being silent for so long.
Yeah, and I think we'll get a release date trailer for Little Devil Inside. Finally.
I it's so funny. Speaking of crazy Kickstarters that last forever, I got a Star Citizen update, and I was looking. They have like the timeline tracker kind of thing, and it was like they're on like 0.4 or something like that, and 0.4.4 is like Q4 2025, and then Star Citizen 1.0 is still like to be determined. So, sorry, Q4 2026. So like it's not even coming out in 2026. It's going to be in 2027 or later. Like that
Wow.
game, I think that game's going to be longer than Little Devil Inside and just a gigantic monster of a game.
Is it like people have been playing the
Yeah.
beta or whatever, right?
Yeah, I could
So-
play it like the alpha or whatever they're calling it right now if I wanted to install it. Now I don't know how playable it is or what it's like, but people are still playing it, still buying ships. Like I don't know, people are going nuts. I don't know how much money they have, but it's way too much.
Yeah.
Maybe an announcement or a tease for the Claire Obscure team's next game, or if they're
That's
making a
pretty
sequel.
early. That is pretty early.
You gotta strike while the iron's hot,
Yeah.
though.
And I'll just say this. I think I'm going to start Claire Obscure again tonight.
Do it.
And talking about like the relevance of the Game Awards, I don't want to say yet because I haven't played it, but I highly doubt this game is going to deserve all the awards it's going to get. And I think this is kind of peak Game Awards. I think from this point on, if that wins, they're going to become less and less relevant every year because it would signal a shift from being about the best game to the best story, or what like sound kind of what the Oscars are now with stuff like Coda and other movies that are clearly not the best picture of the year winning best picture. And I've said before, I think the Game Awards are actually pretty good at recognizing the actual best stuff that came out this year, and their track record is solid, albeit as we've discussed before, a little easier to do with games than movies and a little less subjective in my opinion. But I think it would be looking back, it will not age well, that decision. It's this game of the moment for reasons I somewhat understand, but
Now, are you saying that if it sweeps all the categories or just if it wins Game of the Year?
specifically game of the year.
Okay.
And I think
See,
I've
I
read
think it would be okay to win Game of the Year given the list, but I think if it sweeps like all the categories it was nominated in, I think that's a mistake. Because I think as a whole, it's very good. But some of the individual pieces that it's been nominated for, other games do better.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah, 100%. And I don't think it's a bad game either. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
just I was looking at top 10 lists of the year that are starting to release, or just best of the year lists, and that's been on number one for many of them that I've read. And I always read the paragraph. Like, what are they saying about it? Why is this game of the year? And it's always the same stuff. Like it's such a double A game from an unknown studio that has very familiar Mario RPG inspired active battle mechanics and an amazing story. And That's it. They don't say what's revolutionary about it. It's just the story of the developer and the story of the game. It's all rooted in stories. And games are not about stories. They're about gameplay and art primarily. And story is secondary. This story better blow my fucking mind if it's
I
winning
think you'll
Game of the Year.
appreciate the art the more you play it, though.
I will say, the more I played it, the uglier it got.
Okay.
I played for like 4 hours, and it started off, I'm like, this looks pretty good. And then as I started going to the different areas, it got uglier and uglier. But I will give it another shot. So, and this story better be the greatest story ever presented in a video game.
It is.
It's possible. The premise is excellent. The premise of the whole thing has the potential to set up for an incredible story. So I'm not even saying it's impossible, but this game's got to dazzle me big time. All right, I think that's it. Anything else people want to get off their chest going into the Game Awards?
No.
Okay, stay tuned. Depending on what happens, might be an early episode following up on the Game Awards. Don't know yet. We shall see. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, the new game from Retro Studios, announced at the first year of the Nintendo Switch with a flash presentation at E3 that everyone lost their minds over, has finally arrived on the Switch and the Switch 2 to pretty good responses, I would say. Expectations were very low. I would think across the board, everyone was saying something's up with this game, and including some of the stuff that was being published right before the release with companions and other stuff like that. So we've all played it. We've tried it. Sean lives for Metroid. He says he lives for VR and Resident Evil, which are lies. He doesn't. But he does actually live for Metroid. So we're going to go to him first. Sean, what are your initial thoughts on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond?
So I'm about 5 hours in, I would say. And I'm liking it. It's definitely, I had a bad feeling going into it. I'm kind of like, okay, there's something here. It's pretty solid. It's doing some things differently, which is kind of good, kind of bad. I mean, it looks great for the most part. And I think, some of the new mechanics, the psychic powers, I'm liking. I would say it does feel more linear than most Metroid games. Like at the 5 hour mark, I'm still kind of feeling almost like it's like a guided tutorial in a way, which is weird. Some Metroid games have been like that, like Metroid Fusion. I kind of remember being very like telling you exactly where to go.
Even Dread had the illusion of exploration, but it would lock you in a room every time. That just led to the next room. So it was pretty linear to start as well.
And I'm fine with kind of being told like, here's the main next place you got to go, as long as there's room to go off and do your own thing and explore as well. And you can do that, but there just doesn't seem to be that much to find, or to not that much of interest if you just start kind of exploring around. The whole open desert area thing that we've seen in trailers with the motorcycle that you drive, the Viola vehicle, it's kind of like an overworld, I guess. Like it's kind of like, it almost feels like a bit like a Zelda game or something, where it's like, okay, I'm going to the next temple, and there's like a few little points of interest along the way, but not that much. Not a lot of combat really in that area, or I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like aside from boss fights, I feel like there's not a lot of combat.
Yeah, it's somewhat trivial. I'm to be honest, I kind of like that.
I'm okay with it. I think it's more like there's times when I'm like, oh, okay, this is more of like a puzzle game, but I don't know. The puzzles aren't very hard either. So it's kind of, I don't know. I guess
not a puzzle game. It's a Metroid game. Or specifically a Metroid Prime game. These are all features of previous Metroid Prime games.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
The linearity is the biggest separation, I would think.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, I feel like the other ones, there was a little more feeling of exploration and kind of like looking at a map and being like, okay, where are the areas I haven't gone yet, and where are the little secret passageways I haven't found. This doesn't have as much of that, but yeah, I don't know. I guess just to recap my initial thoughts, yeah, I am enjoying it. I'm gonna keep playing it and hopefully try to finish it in the next week or two. And yeah, I guess if you had doubts, it's better than maybe you think. The companions are not as annoying as it might seem, although some of the voice acting is not great. And yeah, what do you guys think?
Huck.
Yeah, so I just got to the first nerd companion you get.
Miles McKenzie.
Miles McKenzie. Yes, that's right. So I'm maybe like an hour in, 45 minutes to an hour in. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's definitely feels like Metroid Prime. The lot of audio and visual nostalgia I'm finding, especially with like the scanning and the map, very reminiscent of what I recall Metroid Prime looking like and sounding like. I don't know if there's too much scanning, but there's quite a bit of scanning. And
there's a lot of scanning.
So it's okay. But, you know, I'm debating, do I even scan all the stuff I'm scanning? I also forgot how to shoot my rockets like right away, my missiles. So I'm like, and I was trying to look in the control options. It doesn't even tell you. So like just little misses like that are odd to me. The other giant pet peeve of this game I don't know why they do this. You cannot pause cutscenes. You have to hit the home button on the Switch to actually stop it from playing. There are no other buttons that will just pause it for you. I just want to pause it.
Can't skip them either. Which
yeah,
can
you
be
can't
annoying.
skip. Maybe I want to skip. This is a Metroid Other M-esque pain I'm going through right now.
Yeah, you can skip if you've seen it before. But,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, with the A button.
Okay. I was mashing buttons. I couldn't. That option never came up for me.
Maybe
But
from
I
an
hadn't seen it
auto.
before.
Was it a checkpoint at a boss or something like that? Because I reloaded a save today, like when I died, and it said reload save, and I couldn't. Maybe cutscenes specifically, but there's also small cinematics in game that I couldn't skip. So maybe that's what it was. Anyway, no big deal. Sorry, Huck, keep going.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm enjoying the gameplay. I think it looks nice. I mean, I'm playing on the Switch. I'm sure you guys are playing on the Switch too. And I haven't noticed any real performance issues or major just like gameplay issues because it's on the lower end machine. So that's good. That's surprising. I think it looks nice. I'm sure it looks great on the Switch too. And
I mean, it can run in 120 FPS at 1080p on the Switch too. So
yeah, so that's pretty impressive. Yeah, gameplay's fine. I haven't come across any, crazy enemies yet. I like the intro. It's kind of like a different take. Kind of like, even my son was watching me play. He's like, "Oh, this is really like Halo," and it did have like Halo vibes in that initial kind of tutorial area. But in a good way. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was like a good action-packed intro, just like Metroid normally has. They normally have that kind of like escape sequence type thing. The only thing story-wise I'm not jiving with right now is in the intro, I don't know what's happened kind of after you get kind of moved to that new area, but it seems like everyone knows Samus for some reason. And for me, I always like envisioned her as this like loner bounty hunter that, maybe knew someone up in the military command, but wasn't like a war hero or anything. And, even the intro is like Samus and the Galactic Federation. Like, is she like the face of the Galactic Federation now? Like, this seems weird. She's a bounty hunter. Like, it's not like she's a general or something like that. Like, why are they all like happy that she's arrived? I don't know. It's just kind of like a bizarre storyline.
I think they started kind of doing that with Prime 3.
Okay.
If I remember correctly.
I never
And then there
played
was
Prime
also
3,
that-
so
There was that Federation Force game on DS
Oh,
where
God.
you didn't even play as Samus.
oh really?
So they tried to build up some of that stuff a bit.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of the story elements and, as you said, the Federation Force and understanding how all these entities connect and expanding the lore of the Metroid universe. I don't get it. I clearly is stronger when it's a single location, mysterious and disconnected from the outside world. That being said, I have been thoroughly impressed with this game. And I'm just a little bit past getting the bike for the first time. And I kind of feel like I should stop playing in a way because that 3 hours was so good. It surpassed anything I could have ever thought this game would be. And I'll say specifically why. I think it might be the best looking game all year. And
Whoa.
the fact that it's running on a Switch 2 just speaks to the art direction and polish of Nintendo and Retro Studios.
Better than like Death Stranding 2?
Art direction wise, like maybe technically no, but it's technically impressive. And environment decoration, I think is the best I've seen. When I got to the Chrono Tower for the first time, and it uses basically layers of geometry. And when I'm watching this game, they're quite often, the textures aren't that crazy and nothing like that, and the models aren't that complicated, but they kind of have ridges or ripples on ceilings. And then within the gaps or the valleys, if you pictured a bunch of mountains, like a surface being a bunch of mountains, in the valleys of the mountains that are flipped on the ceiling, there's always lighting in between there or something. And it just adds this depth and texture to the environments that blow me away every time. When you get to the Chrono Tower, I was looking up. I've said this before, but rarely, when you watch game demos and people just walk around slow and take in the environment, and sometimes at Silicon Knights, people would do that, like looking at a game. They're artists. They want to see what it looks like. I'm like, I would lose. I should play the fucking game. Let's see what you do in this thing. Stop walking. I do that in this game. I just look at stuff. The environment, art, and lighting is so impressive, especially for Metroid and Metroid Prime. They've nailed better than ever. We talk about Metroid Prime. I still remember almost every room in Metroid Prime. Just they all have a unique shape, some landmark or feature that makes you remember that room. And I would say it goes further in Metroid Prime Echoes, where every room I enter, it looks like a painting.
I think you're talking about Beyond, not
Beyond.
Echoes.
I will say that until the day I die. It's programmed into my brain. But thank you for correcting me. I just can't believe how good each starting image. When I enter an area, they've curated that look of walking through that door and seeing a room for the first time, and it's always breathtaking. I'm just shocked at how good it looks.
yeah, it is like you've always said this, but like, they have kind of a simplistic art design, but then they kind of make that pop. They make it look really good. And I do think it is bringing back the kind of HR Giger inspired stuff a little bit. There's definitely some vaginas in that.
But it's like a colorful version of it. That imagery is often like dark and creepy. It's not. It's like a vibrant vagina art. It's beautiful. And that is there, but specifically the Chrono Tower blew my mind. And the introductions to the first two areas, the
like jungly area?
Shock Forge. Is it Shock Forge? And I can't remember the jungle area. Those panoramic cams and just the vibe of entering an area is incredible. Not to be outdone by like the environment art that you traverse. This game might have the best skybox and like external art I've ever seen. And the first area blew my mind because they established this tree and that is the hub, the center of this area. And you wherever you are, you kind of orient yourself and you can see the street and there's effects falling from it. So it's not just matte paintings and stuff like that. It's got like parts of the external environment that look amazing. And then at one point I looked across and I saw this bridge and this beautiful vista. I'm like, well, I'm not going there. That's like really far away and that just looks amazing. And then 20 minutes later, I'm literally walking across the same bridge into the next area, looking back at an incredible skybox art and silhouette of the area I came from. And I'm like, you know what? This is more linear than most Metroid games, but it has payoffs right now. The fact that I'm going outside and looking back and establishing a geography for the area was really impressive to me. And I couldn't believe how good it looked. And the introduction to the Shock Forge, or is that what it is? I hope it's Shock Forge.
Yeah, I think so.
But like the way there's rain and the lightning and how everything is always firing off. It is a busy area visually, and it works. It just works so well. And vibes wise, they captured Metroid vibes, starting with the main menu. The main menu is incredible. That is one of the things I remember from Metroid Prime 1 as well, is the main menu and music. And I think this might be my favorite main menu of the year. I think it's my favorite. My favorite
Metro
Game Awards.
Yeah, main menu of the
I've
year.
been thinking of some off the wall categories for sure, and that would be up there for me. And the music is incredible and varied. It's all over the place. There's I think there's a song with lyrics. There's orchestral stuff, synth stuff.
The music has always been like a cornerstone of Metroid
yeah.
games. So each area has such a unique and like vibrant theme all the time. If it didn't have that, I don't think it would be a good Metroid game.
I agree, but I think this might be the best music I've heard in a game all year. So it's got the best music, best visuals I've seen, I think, unless I'm forgetting something. Now, gameplay wise, standard Metroid Prime. I'm liking it. They introduced this new mechanic of locking on first and then free aiming, which you off of your lock, which is used in the first boss. I don't think it did a great job of setting up that or telegraphing the need for that on the boss.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that, and it's come up a few other places. I'm assuming that's like to encourage the mouse controls.
I think so, did anyone try mouse controls?
No.
I did very briefly.
So did I, right before we did the show.
Yeah, and it worked pretty good. It's just like with the buttons the way they are, like I don't know, it's not that usable, but like for like a quick like they say, you can kind of have the two Joy-Cons and then put the right one down on the table to quickly aim for something specific. Like that kind of works.
So on the Switch, you're given two options, like basically your standard left stick, right stick, or pointing with like the IR. So it's more like a Joy-Con, like Wii style aimer rather than a mouse control.
Prime 3? Yeah. Okay, well that's kind of cool.
So you were given that option on the Switch as one of the control schemes.
No, because there is no IR sensor.
Oh, okay.
There was two options, and I couldn't like the second option. Like, was it like using the gyro to aim or something like that? I couldn't fully understand what it was, but I chose the first option. I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but I obviously have always talked about I want force feedback on my mouse, and that could be a game changer for mouse aiming. And to be fair, I just played it in kickstand mode, so it wasn't necessarily an optimal experience, but I was kind of struggling, and I died 3 times in an area that I'd never...
This is with the mouse controls?
Yeah, I hadn't died at all playing before, and I had taken a bit of a break, and I'm like, do I just forget how to play this already, or is it because I'm free aiming or using mouse controls? And I did like it, but I do find still the shoulder buttons a little awkward for firing. They're a little thin
problem.
And not incredible, but it's a cool feature, and I don't think I'm going to stick with it though. In terms of other gameplay, I haven't done open world stuff, which I feel like is one of the more divisive elements of the game. So I do get the feeling I'm not going to like it that much once it opens up. I can't exactly say why. I'm just getting that feeling. But the bosses so far I've only done 2 small bosses. They were good. Any shots of Samus and the suit and the reflection looks so good. Polish through the roof as you'd expect in Nintendo. This has been in other Prime games, but the Samus face reflection internally on the visor always looks
Classic.
great. And,
Gotta have that.
map is as functional as it's ever been. I did find out that there are ways of finding out missing collectibles later on in the game. So I was wondering, like, it feels pretty rooted in being a Metroid Prime game and not a next-gen Metroid Prime game. This is like a very polished next iteration of Metroid Prime. And I'm curious to see, I was curious, are they going to have modern quality of life for Metroid likes and letting me know where I can look for stuff? It does have a marking system. I don't know if previous times had marking where you can mark the map to remember something for later. So that's nice. I was thinking for a 3D game, they should have a feature where you could look at anything in first person and like pin it or mark it in first person mode. Because most Metroid like games are 2D and you don't have that type of freedom and accuracy to pinpoint where you want to remember something. I would love it if it would let me just kind of throw something in there that shows up in the map and in the room if I ever want to go back.
That'd be cool.
I thought that would be a great feature, but not there.
Like the Zelda, when you like use the binoculars and tag a tower kind of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, Prince of Persia had a pretty, Lost Crown had a sweet memory system for taking an image and remembering where things were. So I'm glad some of that stuff is there, but it's still not incredible. But I will say I'm very excited to continue this game. It is so good.
Side note, I there was some other game that I played that had the Prince of Persia photo mechanic. What was it? Oh, I think I tried the demo for Constance, which is like a Metroidvania that just came out, and they had it. So people are adopting it. That's kind of cool.
Nice. Any other thoughts or memorable experiences playing it for the first time?
I would just say, going back to your comment about the level design and how it makes everything memorable, it's even, like, from what I've experienced, it's even just simple stuff, like just varying how you progress through a room in simple forms, like, you know, using an S, using a Y, using an X, like to have different paths going different ways, having like a circle around some object in the middle, possibly going down and around, like just really simple shapes, but just change up the way you progress. It's not just a straight line through a level or, you know, a straight line with some objects in the way, so you have to go around. I feel like they're just so good at and then, like you said, putting some sort of geometry in that space that blocks you, that directs you in different ways, that makes it kind of unique, kind of memorable feeling. And, you know, it seems so easy, but I think it's quite hard to get that right where it doesn't feel forced. I also enjoy the linear aspect of it. And, you know, I think I was talking last week how that first hour, you know, you got to like make it enjoyable and teach people how to play. And it's really well paced so far as to how they give out the different skills and techniques and reinforce them. You can tell they put a lot of thought into just how you do that throughout the game. You know, you get the first psychic powers or whatever, and then they have some things for you to do to actually use those psychic powers to teach you how to use it. Whereas, like, you know, whatever game I was playing last week just like kind of throws you in the fire and doesn't really do a good job of explaining itself. And you know, Nintendo's just the best at that. And that's why probably this game takes so long, because they spend the time to refine this stuff over and over again until it's just right. So it shows a lot.
I do have a minor complaint about some of the psychic powers. Like, so you still have a scan visor. Like, you have to hit a button to switch to the scan visor and then hit a button to switch back into combat mode. There are some psychic powers that you use while you're in scan mode, but it's a little weird because it uses the same buttons. So like, there's been times when I'm like trying to like grab something and I end up scanning something behind it, or like, I don't totally understand why they wouldn't just have a separate button to be like, okay, go to this psychic power. It's a little weird.
Yeah, controller mappings have always been, and over mapping has been a problem with a lot of Metroid games, I think. I remember that in Dread to some degree. And I agree totally with what you're saying. Like the psychic bomb, you find a way to do a different bomb with the morph ball that you have to grab and do stuff with, and not really an intuitive control mechanism. And I'd say that's the biggest flaw with the game. And just in general, I feel like there's an opportunity to streamline elements of this game. And maybe they're choosing not to stay true to the series rather than to update it. And scanning is the biggest one to me. Scanning feels so archaic in this game, and having to switch to that visor. There are modern ways of giving you the feeling of scanning and exploring without the cumbersome switching of visors. And I will say they kind of desaturate the environment when you're scanning. And this game looks so good that is almost my incentive to get out of scan. Otherwise, I just scan all the time.
It's not like I feel like they really toned down the filter though, because if I remember correctly, like the old Metroid Prime games, it was almost like just solid colors or something when you're in your visor.
Yeah, you're right. So, and well, there's other visors too. There's like X-ray and
right.
They would, and that might be coming in this game too. I don't know. I assume it is.
But it was almost to the point where sometimes I forgot if I was in scan mode or not. Like it is there, and I agree, when you switch out of it, you're like, oh, that looks way better. But sometimes you're like, wait, I'm trying to scan. Am I in scan mode? So that was, I mean, I don't know. It's probably good. Like, I mean, it's the same complaint. Like I remember people used to always have, like Henry at Silicon Knights would always talk about Splinter Cell, about how like you have these amazing environments and then everybody's in thermal mode the whole time they play that game. It's like, why would you do that?
It's kind of like Batman with detective mode.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking as well. And then so far, puzzles are kind of fun. I am really interested in how they like take or scale up exploration. And at the beginning, you can't double jump and do much. And so just getting up a ledge in one area becomes a puzzle. That's kind of interesting, and makes you use one of your new psychic abilities that I thought was cool. But in that same area, speaking of pet peeves, possibly my number one design grievance, and if I don't even know how it makes it into a game of this size, no professional designer should scale a multiple vertical challenge. Like I fell down 3 times at the top of doing this thing and had to redo it over and over again. And it's just climbing the same thing. When you fail, like when you design a vertical challenge, there should be fail safes or ways of like catching you to not have to redo the whole thing again. That is the worst design ever. It's unforgivable. Vertical design is terrible. It should be staggered vertical design at the very least, not direct, like straight up vertical. And I don't know how that made it into a Nintendo game, to be honest, because it was really fun. And then I hit that part and I'm like, what the fuck was that? How did that make it into this game? And it started off with an amazing puzzle that led into this verticality that was terrible. So it was like highlight and low light within 5 minutes. But just loving the visuals, loving the vibe, music. I obviously expectations were low, but I am shocked at how much I'm enjoying this game.
Yeah, I wonder if Nintendo was specifically setting expectations low so that you
It was very smart.
Yeah, but a couple other quick points. So you mentioned quality of life stuff. Like I was just thinking about how there are, so, you know, old Metroid games, you would never know if you get to a point and you're kind of blocked and you're like, is this a puzzle or do I not have the right thing to get past? And sometimes they would have color coding to help with that, but a lot of times you still wouldn't know. This one, they do flash little messages that'll say like, oh, you need this ability to do this. Like if you try to do it like once or twice, which is good. But there are some things where I feel like they're flashing messages too quickly. It's almost like Like, I remember, was it God of War Ragnarok? We were kind of complaining about how, like,
Yeah.
you get to a puzzle and almost immediately, like, your sidekick is like, "Oh, you should do this," and they're just telling you the answer. It's a little bit of that, like, where it's like you get to a boss fight and you're like just trying to figure out like what the mechanics are, and it's like, "Oh, this is the ability you need to use here," and it's like, "Oh, I could have figured that out in another minute if you gave me a little more time." So I don't know. That's the balance you got to work with, and so they are trying to do some quality of life stuff, but I wish there was maybe a way to turn that off or turn it down a bit. Some of those things.
I do. The one boss fight had like puzzle elements in it, and I think that's what you're alluding to. And using the psychic flying, I thought how it set that up to make you realize to do that was really good. Kind of classic game design and inventive. And just the locations are so good. But I do think it's fair to criticize the lack of exploration, which I'm personally okay with if the game is fun and wows me in other ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be that to me. I just, Dread didn't have the best exploration, but the new things it added weren't that great either. Like the stealth sections were the worst part of the game, and that was the key feature of that game. And the bosses were okay, but not necessarily great. So I'm not like a diehard, I need to explore. Metroid can't have sidekicks. As long as it's good, I don't care. So so far, it's really good. And just the last pro tip PSA for all Nintendo fans living in Canada, what you might want to do, I think I've said this before, you can get $90 or $100 Nintendo gift cards at Costco for $90. So you save 10% on those cards. So at the very least, if you buy a lot of stuff from the eShop, you should get all your e-cards from Costco. Be wary. I think there's a limit of one purchase per month or something like that, and 3. So if you buy a lot, make sure you're staggering and loading up on those. Same goes for PlayStation and Xbox as well. And then for Nintendo, you can buy vouchers with the credits you bought at Costco, and the price of a game ends up being like $67, $68 all in, which is like a lot cheaper than the close to 100 Metroid Prime 4 would cost. So let's say you have a Switch 2. You should buy the Switch 1 version with a voucher using the method I stated, and then upgrade to the Switch 2 version.
How much is the upgrade? Because we had this conversation earlier today, and I did it. What's the upgrade? $10? 15?
15. Canada,
15?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's definitely some ways to maximize your gaming value via Costco cards in Canada, possibly in the States too. I bet USA Costco does that as well. So look into it. So I've probably saved like $500 this year doing this stuff with vouchers and Costco. That's only on Nintendo. I buy $300 or $100 of Sony gift cards every month, it seems like, and I burn through them all. I have a problem. Okay, any other thoughts on Beyond?
No, looking forward to playing more.
Yeah. If you were on the fence about it, maybe wait till next week when we've got some cycle time and desert time in. And
yeah, now, what are your thoughts so far, Frank? Is this anywhere in the game of the year or top 10 conversation?
Oh yeah, right now it has the potential to be my
See,
number one game of the year.
I'm not. I mean, it's like on the cusp, but I'm not like as sure of that.
I can't explain why. I know this game is going to start to fall off shortly. It's just a hunch. I can feel it happening. But if the rest of the game is like the first 2 hours, it will be in my top 3, potentially number 1. I mean, that was the most fun 2 hours of gaming I've had all year. I was just like, maybe even not fun, impressive. I was like, everything was blowing me away. And it's mostly visuals, I'll be honest, because the gameplay's nothing new. But it was really good. Although there's new puzzle stuff and new ideas. So no, it's got everything. I love the first 2.5 hours. Blew my mind.
Okay.
Okay. That is it for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Check it out or let us know what you think in the comments on YouTube. All right. What else have people played? Huck, you got anything else?
Well, I think we all played Cosmic Invasion, Marvel's
Correct,
Cosmic
yes.
Invasion, which is 4-player. I played 4-player. Beat 'em up brawler. And is this by the same guys that made Streets of Rage? Is that correct? Or the Turtles game?
Same publisher,
Same publisher?
Dotemu.
So
It's Shredder's Revenge, same developers.
Shredder's Revenge. Okay. So I must say that it was fun to play all the Marvel characters. There's like the new mechanic they have that's different than the other ones is you kind of have like a teammate. So when you select your character, you get to select 2 characters and you can kind of switch between them whenever you want. And it's kind of like an extra life bar or an extra man while you're playing. And there is like other mechanics where you can kind of do like tag team moves, almost kind of reminds me of like a wrestling game or something where you could call in your buddy to do some sort of special move while you're fighting. There's other little like special move mechanics that each character has. And overall though, I must say that there's 2 things that I'm not loving about it. I think the button mashing is good. It's fun. There's that same sort of mechanic that the Turtles game had where, you know, even if a guy is dead, you can still kind of like juggle them up in the air to bump up your combo, which is fun to do. You know, it's fun to just hit things around. But I think the sprites overall of the characters are a lot bigger and they take up a lot of space. And like when I was playing 4 people with all the enemies on screen, like, multiple times people were like, I don't even know where I am right now. Like there's just so much going on. There's so much flying around the screen. It's just so crowded. You can't even really tell what's going on. You're just kind of like punching and just kind of letting loose and hope you don't get hit. And the other thing I found was that there's nothing really unique so far. It's really just push forward and punch. And that's it. The bosses have like some kind of unique stuff, but you know, in the Turtles game, you have the sequence where you like throw things at the screen, and even in the Rita's Revenge Power Rangers game, you had those like kind of like minecart, like almost like what do you call it, like Super FX chips, kind of like mode 7
first person kind of stuff or whatever.
Yeah, first person kind of like stuff. So like there was different game mechanics that they threw at you. So we've done, I guess, the tutorial and then 3 stages. So obviously we're not that far into the game. I don't know how many stages there are, but so far I haven't seen really anything unique to the game in terms of like a different style of gameplay they're trying to change the pace up with, which is unfortunate because I think with the Marvel stuff, you could have a lot of really cool stuff. Even like you go to the place where they make the Sentinels, you could add a really cool Sentinel boss battle there, and it was just like a pretty traditional boss battle that you've seen many other places. So those are like my critiques, but I'm having a fun time with it. It's fun to play 4 players. My kids get a kick out of these games, so it's definitely fun playing with them. I don't know if I was playing by myself, it would be as enjoyable, but yeah, so far that's my take on it.
Nice, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, we played 3 players for a bit, and yeah, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. I mean, I think for me, aside from the having the 2 players to switch between, I think the different characters do play somewhat differently. Like they're, being able to try out different characters is kind of fun, and then unlocking new characters and seeing what they can do is fun. So that's kind of what, to me, the kind of selling point of the game is, aside from just if you're a Marvel fan and, seeing what characters they throw in there. But, I think it is like a cut above, like we've said, there's so many of these games coming out, these sort of retro beat 'em ups. And I think that just mechanically, these ones feel a little more polished, a little more solid than some of the other ones, specifically Marvel and Shredder's Revenge are kind of top of the list for me. But yeah, it's fun, simple but fun.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I loved playing as Rocket Raccoon and all his huge moves, and the sprites for those I thought were extremely well done. It does get repetitive and boring, but that's what all of these games are like. It's not the first to be like that. And I would give it points for what Sean said. Every character is very different, like drastically different animations and look, and plays differently,
Movement
including
speed.
how they fly,
Yep.
whether they just launch with a rocket or hover, and all these things. So in terms of replayability or wanting to try different characters, I think this is the best of the recent retro shooters that have done it. Maybe inspired a bit by Marvel Rivals and some other stuff, but I still have not wanted to go back to play it, other than getting that first quick fix, which again is why Absalom is so impressive. They made me want to keep playing a beat 'em up, which has never happened in the history of the world, and it's pretty cool and pretty fairly priced. I thought it was going to be really expensive because it had Marvel on it, but it was fun. I'd play it some more if we
Free
did
on
co-op.
Game Pass, bud. Free on Game
that's
Pass.
True.
You know what, these games, I don't really understand the level up system that they add in. Like, it says, when you level up, it says like focus up or something. I think, is that just like your focus bar increases or increases faster? Like, it's really, I don't feel the difference of me being leveled up versus not leveled up.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I
in
don't
Turtles, the Turtles, the level ups were seldom, right? And it was way less often. And
I
this
think
game,
you only got like 4 or 5 levels in that game.
yeah, and it was just like an overall level, I think. This is leveling up individual stats every time you finish a level. And I mean, feels like it's there more for progress and show, especially for,
is it
for
individual
younger
stats
people.
or just your 2 characters?
It's like each character has a bunch of individual stats that level up, like
okay.
different properties about their character.
Okay. I don't know if I saw any breakdown of that.
Because I leveled up 3 different things the first time.
Okay. Okay.
We finished a level. I think it just, as you keep going, it happens less often.
Sure.
But it just gives a sense of progress, and maybe some Vampire Survivors like flair and sounds reward mechanisms that make people think it's more involved than it actually is.
It might make more of a difference at harder difficulty levels. So
Maybe
hard to say. I mean, there is one other element of the game which I isn't really explained that well, and we were kind of debating. But you can kind of combine attacks with different characters, whether it's your 2 characters that you're controlling. You can kind of like hold down a button and have one of them kind of jump in real quick to do something and then jump out. But then I think, and I'm not 100% sure on this, I think you can combine with, a character that somebody else is controlling. If you do the right attack at the same time, there's things that build. I don't totally know how that works, though.
Okay. I
Definitely
don't know.
did not do that.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say much or anything about this. I don't think I am. But just related, I've been playing Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls closed beta.
Okay.
Other kind of Marvel property. And I don't think I could say much. Maybe I'm allowed to say it's been a very positive experience. I've enjoyed it.
Okay, then.
Nice. When's that supposed to come out, by the way?
No date yet.
Okay.
2026, but maybe we'll coincide with the Fight Stick, Sony exclusive Fight Stick that was announced earlier.
Yeah,
Maybe at the Game Awards.
Ooh,
This
this
might
might
be
be
New
the
Year's first release.
Maybe.
Or
That would be
Jan
amazing.
first.
Did you say New Year's first?
I said New Year's first, yeah.
Sorry, but it's
Close enough. You knew what
we're
I
all
meant.
there right now. Yeah, the Flex Strike wireless fight stick, and I will say I got a great deal on a Dual Sense Edge controller that I've been messing around with as well. That's been fun. Got it for $100.
Pretty sweet.
All right. Was Sean next? Technically, I think.
Yeah. What should I mention? You know what? Since we were talking Metroid Prime, I should say I went back and finished Revenge of the Savage Planet. Had started this, back in like March or something when it came out. And this was so like maybe a week or 2 ago. I went back through it, finished it, and really enjoyed it. It's, definitely an improvement on the first game. if you are, a Metroid Prime fan, you're looking for a first-person Metroidvania, this kind of fits the bill. There's some grinding elements to it that I don't love, but it's mostly optional.
There does seem to be a grinding mechanic-ish thing collecting in Prime 4 as well, with the green gems and stuff like that, because I didn't even know what I was supposed to do with those at first. And
yeah, I think they added those things just to give you something to do in the desert, because you'll see more of that there. But
all right.
but yeah, I mean I like there's kind of a weird sense of humor to the Savage Planet games, and they have like these commercials for like these sci-fi weird commercials that a lot of them are shot in live action, and they're almost like Tim and Eric kind of things, which I enjoy. I could see some of that stuff turning people off for sure, because it is a little obnoxious at times. But I dug it. So check it out if that sounds at all interesting.
Okay. Got a few more things to add. Dispatch. I've done the first 2 episodes of Dispatch and really impressed so far. Loving it. Visually, no surprise, incredible. I think the actual base gameplay mechanic of just deploying or dispatching, I should say, superheroes based on their stats to these other things, it works surprisingly well as a management game. And anything to do with that, I've really enjoyed. The part I'm not crazy about, the weakest part of the game by far to me, is the hacking minigame, which is just like, it's backtracking within a hack, which is not fun. Maybe these puzzles will get more complex, but they are. The last one I did added the complexity of memorizing 2 halves of a password, which I thought was a great idea. And if it keeps adding wrinkles like that in clever ways, I'll be down with it for sure. Maybe it's just kind of simple and a little boring to start, which is understandable. But story-wise and writing, obviously I'm not a big story guy in video games. This is probably as good as it gets out of anything I've played recently that I can think of. Writing, voice performance, very good, incredible, legitimately funny writing at times, which is rare, and just well done, like well delivered, well written. Jeffrey Wright is awesome, and that character that he plays is like an interesting take. All the branding of the different heroes you're dispatching, I think, is awesome. I can remember almost all of them now just from playing one episode. Being able to do that, to establish 8 new characters at once and have them all kind of be memorable, that's an achievement. Put that on the weird awards list for unique achievement in gaming. Being able to introduce that many characters that well at once. And episodes are a great length. Feels perfect when I'm kind of had my fill of story and cut. It's so good. I will stick with it. It is a very cool choose your own adventure type game, and deserves the praise it's getting, I would say. 20-year-old me would have loved this game. Like the writing, it's definitely catered to kind of be, sweary and edgy and targeting teenagers, I would assume, maybe early 20s, but it does that really well. And I would have loved this when I was in university. I would have thought this was the best game ever. I know for sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. Loving Dispatch.
In the Metroid vibe, while I was waiting for Metroid 4 to download, I played Metroid 2 Return of Samus for the Game Boy. And
had to get that platinum challenge, right? Was that for the coins on Nintendo Online?
Well, it's for unlocking it was like 50 coins and unlocking like fusion stickers or something, or zero mission stickers or something. So it popped up. I was like, I'll give this game a whirl again. I used to love this game on the Game Boy, and I must say it still holds up. I think I went through and killed like 5 or 6 Metroids, like made it pretty far actually, like what I expected. I think you start with 38 or 39 Metroids you have to kill. And so I was moving along at a pretty good clip. Now I remember this game getting very maze-like later on and having trouble knowing where to go and having trouble finding spots where to farm resources at. But I haven't hit that part yet. And that was also like, 25 years ago when I probably last played this game, if not longer.
Yeah.
So my memory is a little flaky. But overall, like all the mechanics I remember being frustrated with as a kid or when I was younger. I remember like specifically the spider ball and what direction you have to press to actually move that thing around was still ultra frustrating. It's made more difficult if you try to use the stick versus just like the D-pad because it's a little more floaty as to where you're actually pressing. And but overall, like still pretty fun exploration. I was really impressed. I was paying more attention to the subtle changes. I mean, it's on the Game Boy, for God's sakes. Like, the music is great in this game, considering it's on the Game Boy, and how they give you different environments by just subtly changing up, essentially, like, the pattern of the bricks that you walk on. It's very incredible. Like, they subtly changed the tiles they use, and just very impressive with no color at all, how they're able to still portray different areas and mark areas as unique, like we were saying, and also just how they direct you. Like there's a lot of places where it feels very maze-like, but then if you look back at it, you're like, okay, actually I entered from the left and I can only exit to the right. So I still kind of know my way back, even though I'm still not sure how many up to go and how many down levels I can go. I always know that if I come to that left exit, that's the way I came from. So like little subtle level design like that, very impressive. Shooting stuff. There's like a little subtle gameplay mechanic that drives me nuts, but I think it was there on purpose. And that's like, there's kind of enemies at two different heights. You could say like knee height. So if you kneel down, you can shoot them fine. And then, I guess kind of chest height, but your blaster goes under those objects. So you have to jump and shoot to hit these things. It's most noticeable when they have like kind of like staircase platforms, and they always have like a thing going across the top of the staircase, a floaty thing. And I think it's there on purpose to make you have to jump and like time your jump. So it's not just an easy, kill, which I kind of respect, but also kind of pissed that I can't just shoot and kill that stuff. So I probably won't play it now that, Metroid 4 is actually downloaded, but I had fun with it for that, like, half an hour, 45 minutes that I sat there cranking away on that Game Boy game. Still some gems on that Game Boy.
Yeah, I mean, Metroid 2, very underrated in my opinion, because like that was basically they added save points and a map, which, wasn't in Metroid 1.
Oh, there's a map? Oh, yeah, there is a little map, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so. But like,
I didn't look at the map.
Not that there was a lot of other games in that genre at the time, but I just remember that, immediately making it like Metroid 1. I don't think I ever beat like properly,
tough.
But yeah, that and like you said, like the music, I remember like when you discover a Metroid, and I think because it's a very small screen, there's like the little music cue that plays.
Yeah.
I remember it being almost like a jump scare every time one of these Metroids jumps out at you.
Totally.
So it's it's kind of cool what they were able to do with that.
Yeah. I don't think there's a map I've never played really anything on Game Boy, but I don't think there's a map in Metroid 2.
Okay.
It looks like I'm just reading this Reddit account. Today I learned that Metroid 2 cannot be depicted as one single contiguous map to scale because it would have many sections that overlap or warp.
I just kind of remember with that spider ball, kind of like trying to go around every single, like, and I mean, you kind of had to find some of the hidden passages and stuff.
And some of the Metroids are like up areas like that too.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it my turn or Sean's? I don't even know.
I think it's
Chunks.
me. I'll mention Neon Inferno.
I was just looking at it.
Just made played like half an hour of this right before the show, so I'm not very far, but jumped into it and I was pretty impressed actually. Like, so this is kind of a retro arcadey. I don't know what you call it. Like, it's like a 2D shooter
action
platformer.
shooter.
Kind of in the vein of like Hunt Down and well, I think it's the same developer as Steel Assault. There's a couple other.
A combination of like Konami games, Sunset Riders, and Contra, from what I've seen. And Sean, you should give credit to our friend Jay, who we had no idea this game even existed. He discovered it.
That is true.
Yeah,
and I mean,
I never knew about this game.
The title is not great in my opinion, just because there's like 50 games that start with neon, and I feel like I've seen it and just kind of glazed over it because I thought it was one of the other games. But this is new, just came out, and it, kind of cyberpunky as well, which is kind of up my alley. But
The
yeah,
graphics are amazing. It looks
There
so
is
good.
so much detail in the environments and in like the different layers of the what do you call it? The scrolling background, whatever you call
parallax?
that. Parallaxing. Yeah, the parallaxing layers. There's so many layers of parallax. It's crazy.
yeah, and so I mean, you mentioned the Sunset Riders thing, so I don't totally remember how Sunset Riders worked, but this has, you shoot and move left to right, but then you can hold down a shoulder button to shoot into the background. And the way it works is you kind of just have this reticle you can move around with the right thumbstick. And
It's like Dick Tracy too
oh,
on
yeah?
Genesis. Oh yeah.
So it's kind of interesting. Like, I thought when I had read the description, I had thought it was kind of like maybe you'd be stationary and shooting into the background for certain sections or something, but it's like you can choose, and their enemies will come at you from both foreground and background, so you got to kind of manage that. And there's like a parry mechanic you have to use, and you can hold down a button to kind of enter, they call it bullet time, where you can, when you're reflecting it, you can choose what direction you want to send it back at, and you can also send it into the background. So yeah, I mean, just basically played the tutorial in the first level, but there's a lot going on. And, I guess my biggest concern with a game like this would be, is it just too hard? Because a lot of these retro games try to keep the retro difficulty as well. And this seems to have some different, like I was playing on medium, which has checkpoints, but, it's still somewhat difficult, but like the checkpoints help a lot. And then there's an arcade mode, and there's a couple other difficulty levels as well. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And as I said, those other games, if you're into any of those, I feel like Valferris, was that another game that was kind of like a arcadey shooter?
Yeah, I played that at one point. It was the same developer as they do. I don't know why I tried this game. I remember playing Valferris. Maybe it was just the visuals that it looked cool, but I remember the gameplay not being that great, but it looked awesome. Does anyone have anything else? Just curious.
I got one other thing.
I just want to. I was just looking up this studio because if you look at this trailer on Steam, there's like a lot of real time lighting and stuff going on. So I was like,
For which game? Sorry,
the Neon Inferno game.
Yeah.
And I guess I had a game before this called Steel Assault, which I'd never played. Were you guys just talking about this while I was researching this?
No.
Okay.
I was just.
I mentioned the title. I feel like I had tried that at some point, but I don't own it, so I don't know where I tried it.
And Steel Assault looks like I think, didn't we look at it when we were talking to Jay? It was like a Gunstar Heroes. It feels like they love treasure games and those kinds of action games, and they're trying to recreate a lot of those.
I was just reading about it on the guy's website. Now it's probably out of date, but it said he was coding in C#, and it doesn't sound like he had any previous game experience. I mean, he was a software engineer, but not in games. He worked on like trading software at Bloomberg, and he's got a master's in AI from somewhere like It's pretty impressive that he's probably done it with a couple artists, but very, very impressive game.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty neat, and I will be buying it at some point too. Did you guys have other stuff?
Nope.
I just want to know.
One other quick thing for me.
Okay. And then speaking of what I thought was another Metroid like, Shinobi Art of Vengeance. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I returned to that, and I thought this was a Metroid like. When I played the demo, it like has that map, and you see that map, and I feel like it was a trick. They tricked me into buying this game. Like, oh, I see a Metroid map. This has got to be a Metroid game with Shinobi. This is going to be amazing. And you start playing, and all of a sudden it's just single levels that are sometimes a bit more complicated and have some backtracking elements, but they're pretty much linear.
I mean, I had the same reaction. I just hadn't really played enough to fully verify that. But yeah, it seems like the levels are not connected, but within those levels, there's a map and there is some exploration, but it's not full Metroidvania.
So that was a bit disappointing. I still think the action's great, and I love the visuals. But I think like just that, it actually made me surprised because it felt like this had something different than Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. But they're actually kind of similar, just classic linear level progression, obviously different art styles and combat, but both decent. And the second level, did you get to the second level, or the bonus level, I should say, where you ride the dog in the storm?
Yeah. I think
it was amazing. That was so good. So it's still got really awesome, like, tentpole cinematic gameplay moments that I'm going to remember. So I do want to return to it. I don't know if now's the time, if it's top 10 material, but I was enjoying it. It feels, if I had to say right now, like an 8 out of 10-ish type game, but it could get better. There's a lot of mechanics, like a lot going on that you have to try to navigate. I think it introduces stuff too fast almost, but it's good.
Yeah, I got to get back into that. I mean, it is weird. Like Ninja Gaiden Ragebound kind of hooked me, and this one, not that I bounced off of it, but I think I agree with what you're saying that there was just a lot to take in, and I just wasn't instantly hooked. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else for you, Huck? No.
No, I'm just drooling over this Neon Inferno game. So.
Okay, I'll throw out one more game. This was another game that I had a code for that, I mean, I haven't heard anyone talking about it. Maybe
Did you play Horses, Sean? The band game?
No, I'm interested though. I may pick that up because I'm very curious. Dice Baby. Not the best title. But what this is Balatro with dice. So kind of like Yahtzee.
Oh my God, I love Yahtzee.
Yeah, so it's, like it has all those, the Balatro mechanics in there, and like all these special dice that you kind of acquire throughout a run. And I was kind of enjoying it. The one thing that's I'm a little bit on the fence is like the art style is okay. It just doesn't have a lot of personality. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. I feel like it needs a little something extra to make it pop,
It does look a little like Windows 95 art style, like that kind of simplicity in the UI design.
Yeah, it feels legitimately like Bejeweled and other like 2006 Xbox Live Arcade games is the vibe I'm getting from this thing. Yeah. But my God, do I love Yahtzee. And I think I even thought at some point someone should do a Yahtzee roguelike.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, has there not been another one of these? Like, maybe there is a competing dice roguelike. I'm not sure. But, if that sounds interesting to you, like, the gameplay is solid. So give it a look.
I've also been playing still a lot of Hades 2. I'm like, I'm ready for bed, or I wake up, I'm like, I just want to play something kind of familiar and just do a run, and then I end up doing like 7 runs or like 4 runs and 3 chaos trials, and I just can't pull myself away. It's so good. I love Hades 2. Another game with incredible music. And that's what I forgot to say. I don't know if they've announced the musical performers for the Game Awards yet, but they should get the I don't know how to pronounce it, Scylla and the Sirens. One of the coolest boss fights of all time in that game. In the second area, you battle a band of sirens, like a rock band, and they have like a song that they wrote, and they're playing it while you're fighting them, and it's got lyrics, and it's like a metal rock song that's awesome. And then later in the game, you get a second song by them. So I thought for sure the Game Awards was going to have this song played live, and we shall see. But that might be my boss fight of the year so far. And oh my God, some of the bosses in Hades 2, Typhon, I think it's Typhon, how you pronounce it. That boss looks incredible. I don't think I talked last week how good the art on Hades 2 is. Every character, especially in dialogue mode where it's their portraits, have like these reflections and shimmers that are going over the bodies and blinking and glows and just polish around the art that is unprecedented in an indie game. Obviously, they're very popular and have a lot of money, which is good for them, but their artwork is exceptional. I am loving Hades 2.
I gotta get into this one too. I haven't even started it yet, so.
And I've still been doing kind of daily stuff, and I haven't missed a challenge yet. I think in Battlefield 6 or Black Ops 7, and still collecting every event reward for Kirby Air Riders and liking it quite a bit.
Nice.
I've been gaming a lot. I can't wait to see my numbers for this year.
Oh, yeah, when are those going to get released? That's got to be soon.
It's always weird because Nintendo does it in December, and it doesn't count December gaming. So I've been prioritizing that because Sony lets you use all of December. So just get ready for some big numbers.
Okay.
Biggest numbers of my life.
Can't wait.
That's it for me.
Okay.
You're good?
I'm good.
All right. Next week, the Game Awards, the night of the year in gaming, possibly the best game winner of all time. We don't know yet. We won't find out until Thursday. And maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe by Thursday, I'll say it's the best game winner of all time. I don't know, but Silk Song or Bonanza should win for Game of the Year. I think Bonanza should win, personally. I think it technically did the newest thing and the most impressive thing, and is super fun and classic Nintendo, and art-wise, 1 or 2 for the year. So again, Nintendo, no tech, best art. Sorry, it's the truth. And that's it. That's going to do it. YouTube.com/GameJunk. For watching, links, whatever, comments, go there. Enjoy the Game Awards. Enjoy your holiday season. Thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.